Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition, Sphere of Influence, Call to Power, Rise of the Underdogs, whatever this game is called. I'm the Mysterious JG. I am going to the wrong TV input. Got the new setup here with the new cable and the new TV, and it's better. I'm still getting used to slight differences in the control inputs and whatnot. So, we're playing as Shingen, which I'm pretty sure we won't be when I return to our real reality of the game. Because in the reality where I've already taken over most of these dudes' territory, I say they're the Nanbu. They are not the Nanbu. They're the Angakojis. I don't even think that's who's in charge up here in the reality that we're in. I don't even know. But yeah, the one where I was trying to protect the Yoda and couldn't get it done and blah, blah, blah. Well, we did some things we shouldn't have done. We took over Kiso Fukushima Castle, which I thought I remembered having a history event. And then it didn't show up in the thing I read on Steam, even though I got it off screen. So now we got to see it together as a family, but I fucked up the events where we take the Buddhist name Shingen. Shingen is his Shingen Takeda is his Buddhist name that he took to win the support of the people. So we'll be seeing him as Masanobu when we return to that reality. And his stats are the same, but his portrait's different. And I feel a little bad about it, but I mean, it's pretty apparent we were never going to get all the history events to unlock in one playthrough. There's just too many. The AIs always break it. The fucking Hojo are usually... Imagawa and Mitsudaira were aggressive before they were supposed to be. It's usually the Hojo who break it by just... They're so fucking powerful. The historical Hojo just seemingly were content to rule their districts, and they didn't try to take over the country like a bunch of their neighbors were. But with the way this game works, and it might not be entirely realistic, the idea of the Hojo being able to project power all the way to Kyoto from the Kanto might be unrealistic. Because the clan that ultimately took over were the Oda, who were pretty nearby. And then, similar to the way that Jin Suma Yi kind of took the military political bloc Cao Cao had built, took it over. Really, Hideyoshi took the military political bloc Nobunaga had built and took it over. And by the time... Now, Ieyasu ruled the Kanto when he took over the countries, but, I mean, at that point, like, he had political power all over the country. He wasn't... The place that was literally controlled by his troops was not the only place where he was exerting political authority. So, maybe it's silly for me to say the Hojo could never realistically have taken over the Kanto, or taken over Kyoto and ruled the country from the Kanto, because that's exactly what ultimately did happen. But it was under the guy who at this point in time is known as... Where is he? Well, right now he's Okazaki Matsudaira. His name is... No, sorry, it's Moroyasu Matsudaira, who would eventually become Ieyasu Tokugawa. He's going to do this, but he's going to do that. But the Hojo are content to just have the most powerful, rich area of the country and just rule it in a way that Ieyasu was not. So why am I still talking? I don't know. Let's get on with this. I can't help myself. I always want to check for what stuff can we do, but really at this point, the Takeda, like, he is about to, by he I mean Masatora Uesugi, a man who would later be known as Kenshin Uesugi, the Dragon of Echigo. He's getting ready to deploy his troops, and then we have to go out and fight him. And when we do so, we're going to trigger a battle where I don't think it matters what troops we bring. They are going to Well, let's let time pass. Let's let him deploy his troops, and then we'll fight him. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think we can deploy whoever we want against him. Because he's just going to park there. Masatora Uesugi deploys at Saijo-san. Accomplished. Late night at Kaizu Castle. To carry out Kanzuke Yamamoto's woodpecker tactic, Masanobu Kosaka and Harunobu Baba ended up bringing an auxiliary force to Saijo-san Mountain. Masanobu, this one is counting on you. I will do my utmost to bring a plan to fruition, my lord. I feel like this poor guy gets a different voice every video.
Is something the matter, Sir Kanzuke? Does something worry you?
Nothing. It's not worth troubling oneself over. The enkindlers will provide. Harunobu, good luck. Was he wishing himself good luck? Aye, same to you and our liege, Sir Kanzuke. Wait, isn't he Shingen? Oh, there was all sorts of little mistakes there. The Shingen portrait popped up and he said, Harunobu, good luck, even though he was talking to Nobunaga. And so, the force acting as the woodpecker's beak to scare out Masatora Uesugi's troops headed for Saijo-san Mountain, disappearing into the darkness. So we will hold an event battle. I didn't need to deploy actual troops to fight, because this is going to happen as it was meant to happen. I did this off-screen once. I won, but it was close. But this is one of the big battles of the period. Like there were actually 4 battles apparently fought around Kawakanajima. They kind of get slotted together in the Samurai Warriors games. But like it's still legend in Japan, the showdown between these 2 generals.
He's broken through my forces. Well done, God of War.
Didn't even move my lips.
Tiger of Kai. Let us settle this now.
See, I would have given Lubu voice to Kenshin and Sun Ce. Well, I wouldn't have given anyone the Sun Ce voice.
A brutal battle between 2 evenly matched generals raged on Kawanakajima.
Kawanakajima.
Takeda of Kai and Uesugi of Echi. These 2 talented commanders would soon cross their blades directly.
Prepare yourself!
This battle between 2 mighty rivals reached the height of intensity and carved itself a place in history for generations to come.
It got hyped up pretty big. It was like the main event of WrestleMania that year for sure. They fought at the Tokyo Egg Dome. Anyway, no, I mean, some thoughts on these guys. So that scene of Kenshin striking and Takeda blocking with his fan, it may be like a dramatized thing that never really happened, but like that is a legend in Japan, that Kenshin personally broke through to Shingen's command tent and attacked Shingen directly, and Shingen hastily blocked him with his war fan before Kenshin could be driven away. The 2 were considered evenly matched. They're considered the great generals. Nobunaga was younger, and by the time Nobunaga was really rising in power, both of, like, Shingen died of probably natural cause. No, Shingen got, I think Shingen got struck by like a stray arrow or bullet in battle. And Kenshin, there are legends he was killed by an assassin, but in fact, in all likelihood, he actually died, I believe, of it was natural causes. I wanted to say cancer, but I think it was a bowel disease. I tend to go to bowel cancer for obvious reasons. No, but he died of he died of natural causes, and there's enough information about his symptoms that people are fairly sure they know what it was. I just don't remember. But yeah, like Nobunaga, who died as a fairly young man because he was betrayed, was basically rising to power at the time that these 2 were kind of heading towards the last half of their, last chunk of their lives, and they were the ones who, like, the Japanese who study this section of history were like, if Shingen or Kenshin had been born a few years later or lived a little longer, like it's not clear that Nobunaga would have been able to defeat them. But blah 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 blah. But no, that like the interesting dichotomy is that Kenshin was a man of honor, and Shingen was a man who could be fairly duplicitous. He ends up fighting at various points. Like he enters that triple alliance with the Hojo and the Imagawa, but you know, I believe we'll find out. I believe he's going to betray the Imagawa once they begin to collapse. He does have a tendency to make deals with people and then break faith. He exiled his own father from the country and took over the country from his own father, which is not considered honorable anywhere. That's Shingen. So Kenshin kind of despised Shingen's underhandedness, but like just deeply respected his ability as a commander, and is said to have wept openly when he received the news that Shingen died, because Shingen was the only person who could match his wits on the battlefield. Kenshin, but that's kind of what Kenshin was. He was a military genius. As a domestic leader, he was okay. And he had a lot of really talented people who were loyal to him because of his military genius. Shingen, on the other hand, was like all around just a more capable leader. Like he created domestic policies in his land that improved the economy. He was an all-around just more gifted person. Maybe not quite, but not as valorous, not as personally brave in the battlefield as Kenshin. But they brought out the best in each other on the battlefield. So they're kind of legendary as enemies. The Dynasty Warriors games are obsessed with the Warriors Orochi. It's obsessed with the idea of what would happen if they ever teamed up. But in fact, they were famous for, you know, this island ain't big enough for the two of us. Anyway, let me shut up and get on with it here. This can't be. Unbelievable. Why? Keep it together. Everyone, prepare for Uesugi's attack. I'm not going to talk like Sun Tzu. JG's going to try and kind of sound like the Shingen from Samurai Warriors 2, which had the fucking best voice acting ever. They're in wheel formation. Get into wing formation. Spread out. Our men on Saijo-san Mountain will be back soon. Hold out until then. So as you can see, this strategist that he had placed a lot of reliance on, the plan is failing, and he's panicking a bit.
Understood.
And this is always a little spooky in
Understood.
Kessen 3, a game I always intended to play on the channel, but I might never get around to. I remember deploying against the
I shall do this myself.
Uesugi, and they have a tendency not to be where you thought they were, and that's their way of replicating the fact that Kenshin was really sneaky. So I don't really know how this is going to play out, other than there's going to be a bunch... Like, I played it a few weeks ago while goofing around trying to advance story to see what I could and couldn't do.
Yes.
And I kind of remember, like, I won, but it was just barely able to win because there's a whole bunch of weird reversals that are going to occur. So we've got... 83... No, I don't want to suspend... 83.75.
Yes. Right. Yes. It must be done. Get them!
Is that going to lure both of them in? Damn it, the way... I'm very irritated by where this is showing up. Okay. Luring tactic would be a good idea here. Because it'll kind of affect their...
Yes.
what they're up to. That's not what I wanted to do at all. I pressed the button and it completely switched the map around on me. He's raising his defense, okay.
Well, let's get started.
Let's go.
So I don't think I want him getting wiped out immediately, but
It must be done. Leave it to me.
okay. This Kawakanajima in the Takada's main camp. Halt! Who goes there? Gah! It ends here. Yeah. Oh, that was one of the Cthulhu words. Nuga. Ha ha ha! A fine block. But do you call that a sword, you whimpering coward? Huh. The general needs no sword. His servants are fine enough weapons. Yet you waving your blade about like a mere grunt. You have no right to generalship. Begone. Men, bring this fool down. Humph. Go. My liege, your wounds. Worry not. 'Tis but a flesh wound. 'Tis but a graze. Yet that Kagetora truly is a terror. Shingen Takada fought with Masatora Uesugi 5 times at Kawakanajima, the most violent of which was the 4th fight, in which the legend that Masatora Uesugi cut his way into Shingen's base camp by himself remains to this day.
Attack! Attack!
Attack! This is probably crazy, but I want to try to keep this support unit alive.
Understood. Acknowledged. Isolated.
He's trying to stop our retreat.
Send them running.
My liege, this one has come to say his goodbyes. Or its goodbyes. My goodbyes. Dots. Though you brought this one up from the station of Wanderer, please forgive this one's inability to repay his debt to you. You are like the enkindlers, and I cannot live up. You don't have anything to say to me? This one does, my liege. Masanobu Takasaka is most fitting for the protection of Kaizu. That man will not be felled easily, not even before the likes of Kagetora. Very well. This one thanks you deeply and takes his leave. I won't tell you not to go. A tactician who lives in the world of battle plans is fated to die by them. Yet, Kanzuke, are you just going to leave me behind? Kanzuke Yamamoto left the main Takada force and headed for the encroaching Uesugi army. Kanzuke! Lord Nobushige, your wounds. Sorry, Kanzuke. I couldn't live up to the plan. I lacked the strength. Oh, please apologize to my brother for me. Tell him I couldn't help, that I was unworthy kin. I mean, I tried to play Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, but there just wasn't that much time with the kids and... What are you saying, Lord Nobushige? There is no adjutant in the entire realm that can match your skills. I beg of you, pull yourself together. Kanzuke, protect my brother. Brother Dave Sullivan. Take care of Takada. Shingen's other brother, Nobushige Takada, known to later generations as a true adjutant, fell to Uesugi forces in a dramatic clash after a fierce battle. Feeling danger at Nobushige's death, Kanzuki headed back to the road to the main army. Before his eyes, with the speed of a gale, came a band of the enemy. Kanzuke saw, with no mistake, the B for Bishamonten on their banners. Wait, from the banners, I can tell. You must be Sir Kagetora Nagao. Dots. To where do you go? This land is where you die. Do you think you can run?
Pathetic words from an insect.
I ask you one question. How did you see through my impeccable plan?
Your plan? So you're the Takeda strategist.
That I am. I think I gave him the Shingun voice for a second there. Kanzuke Yamamoto, the man who will take your life.
Rubbish. I didn't even need to see through any plan. The likes of you just cannot deceive these eyes of mine. Now out of the way, bootlicker.
Gah. Gah, why? They call you a god of war, but there was no way you could have seen.
Were you drunk on your little plan, fool? If you still draw breath, listen to me. I am always looking at my enemies. These eyes of mine see through any foe. I saw your fortress too, and that was all it took. Farewell, Dokesai Yamamoto.
You saw... Ah, the cooking fires. Impressive, Kagatora Nagao. Most impressive. And yet, Kagatora, you're still the insect about to fly off in fear. Can you not hear it? The wings of the woodpecker coming to feast on its prey. Kanzuke Yamamoto, the man who had contributed to the Takeda clan as their strategist, lost his life here at Kawakanajima. However, the last sound he heard was unmistakable, the hooves of the Takeda army rushing down Saijosan Mountain. A few hours before, in Saijosan Mountain. You know, making Shingen charge might have been a mistake, because I don't know where the fuck everyone's going to teleport to after all this plot. And also, I charged to try to save a unit that's now been wiped out by plot. The tactician Kanzuke's woodpecker plan was based off of how a woodpecker pecks at a tree to scare insects out of it before it ate them. Fulfilling the role of the threatening beak were Masanobu Kosaka and Nobuhara Baba.
Kagatora just won't move. Indeed, he simply will not budge.
Wait, he won't budge?
Blast! Stop the entire force! Everybody stop!
Masanobu and Nobuhara came upon Masatora's camp stripped completely bare.
Damn, they pulled one over on us. Calm yourselves, everyone calm yourselves! Hurry back to Hachimanbara!
Having seen through their woodpecker tactic, the two knew once again of the fearsomeness of the war god, Masatora Uesugi.
Let the battle be joined! Let the battle be joined! Woohoo!
Okay. So now they have the numbers.
Understood.
And I gotta try not to let Shingen get wiped out. Because as he marches to save these guys who are already defeated. Oh, he's not even gonna get to do it. No, he's charging.
Pull back! Follow my lead.
I think I fucked it up.
We retreat.
Everyone follow me.
Yeah, I fucked it up. Because he's gonna get wiped out.
It must be done.
Yes.
The only real chance I've got is for these guys to just get to Kenshin and take him out, and I fucked it up. I was too aggressive with Shingen, and now he's... I don't know if he'll be able to escape.
This is prime time for a retreat.
I think I'm about to lose. No, I'm going to lose here. Unless Shingen can get across the river or something. Because these guys are supposed to save the day, but Shingen took too much damage before they got here.
Yes. Understood.
Scared yet?
It must be done.
He wipes me out as I try to cross the river. There's no way I can get away.
Go back.
Yeah. Sometimes flight is the best option. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to call it a video. Like I said, I wanted off screen, but I remembered it being all plot, and I didn't really get a good sense of what all I was supposed to have been doing. I just barely pulled it off. And I think the difference there is I got this idea, oh, if I can use Shingen to wipe out those 2 units, that tactician will survive till later in the battle. That was a mistake. Should never have done that. Everyone can be sacrificed to protect Shingen because those 2 massive armies will show up at the end of the fight, and they're who I'm actually supposed to use to defeat Kenshin. So the thing is not to waste any of his troops. I can go ahead and send that. If I send my strategist in, let him get wiped out, his troop count falling to a low number is what triggers the story. So when we come back next time, we're going to do it right. And I think I'll skip through redoing all of the dialogue just to get it to go faster. But we will take another crack at this next time. See you then, guys.